Hello everyone, it is time for a new video, and today I'm going to be talking about historical romances, specifically ones that I absolutely adore, some of my favorite authors. Honestly, this is kind of going to be like beginner's guide to historical romance. I also wanted to do this because of Bridgerton, and I feel like there's going to be a lot of people that want to read more historical romance and experience all the vibes, all the goodness. I have a lot to get through, so let's just jump straight in. The first book that I have here is Tall, Duke, and Dangerous by Megan Frampton, and this is definitely a book I've mentioned a while ago, but it's been a long time. I'm due for a reread desperately, but this was one of the first historical romances that I fell in love with, and it is incredible. It is Grumpy Sunshine, brother's best friend, and there's basically like training self-defense lessons. And the heroine is full of light and love, and the hero is like full of pain and misery. And they start spending a lot of time together and all of that, and oh my god, it is swoon-worthy, it is romantic, it is steamy, it is fun, it's incredible, and you all absolutely need to pick it up. It is just the best time ever. And one of the key things that are incredible in historical romance is literally like the swoon-worthiness, like you can just see it when you watch the show or anything like that, where all the longing gazes and all the brief little touches, like obviously the like historical times create delicious tension that you cannot see in contemporary romance, and I feel like people need to realize that and read more historicals. So definitely check this one out. Megan Frampton is one of my favorite authors. I would mention more books, but we don't really have time for that, and so yeah, but I love all of them and you should absolutely read them. There's so many to choose from, but this is a great start, so definitely check this one out. Next one is Heartbreaker by Sarah MacLean, and oh my god, this series is iconic. This series, I'm recommending specifically the 3 books in this series. This is the second one, so don't mind that. I don't think I have my copy here of the first one, so so this series is incredibly iconic, and it's for all the people that are looking for female main characters who are just incredibly cool, badass, and just like iconic, and sexy and empowering, and like all of those things. Like literally all these stories are like incredible women who actually find men that deserve them, that are worthy of them, that do everything for them, and like who doesn't want that? So if you want yearning and also cool plots, because basically the group of these women called Hell's Bells do like kind of commit crimes for the good of the people, and they team up and they do unhinged things together, and again find men that like can take all of that and they're not intimidated by it, and they're spicy, they're romantic, they're sweet, they're fun, they're fast-paced, incredible, just absolute perfection, and you need to read them. And also, of course, Sarah MacLean, classic historical romance author, so many books in the backlist. If you like her books, you're gonna have so much to read. Speaking of authors with giant backlist, I have to mention Tessa Dare. And specifically, I just recently bought The Governess Game and The Wallflower Wager because I read these as ebooks many years ago, and I can't tell you, like I can tell you what the plot is. I couldn't tell you like specific details, but I do actually remember these books. These were some of the first historicals I ever read, and like they changed my life. And so The Governess Game is a story about a governess, so it's a single parent romance, and she is the governess of the girls, and this is honestly like sunshine, and the hero is super charming, the heroine is smart and sweet, and they have the most wonderful romance together, and it's just so romantic and very like lighthearted, fun. Tessa Dare has such a wonderful voice in her writing, where it's entertaining and it's funny and it has so much personality, and the romances are just utter perfection. And that is also the case in The Wallflower Wager. This is actually another Grumpy Sunshine, and the hero, is reclusive, lonely, all of those things, and the heroine basically loves to take in random animals and take care of them, and yeah, and they fall in love. And these books are iconic. Tessa Dare is like one of the most incredible authors ever, and if you have not read her books, you absolutely need to. Top 5 favorite historical authors for sure for me and for many other people. And like I said, she also has millions of other books. And now I have to grab my laptop because unfortunately I don't own any of the others physically. But let's get into it because there's a lot. So My Darling Duke by Stacey Reed In this one, the main character is a wallflower and she's desperate to save her family. And to do that, she pretends to be married to this like mysterious duke that like no one has seen in a very long time. And it kind of goes a little further than she planned. You know, it becomes an elaborate lie, and such an elaborate lie that he finds out, and he like comes to town and, you know, finds her and, you know, all of that. And things go on from there. Stacey Reid is another incredible author with so many wonderful books, and this one is just so sweet, tender, steamy, and beautiful. I'm gonna be using a lot of the same adjectives because these things are really such a big theme in historical romance. Like, if you have been longing for yearning and like swoon-worthiness, these books are exactly where you're gonna find it. And I'm telling you, no other genre does it in this specific way. You know, I feel like it's kind of something in between, like feeling-wise, it's in between contemporary and fantasy. But in a way that like in fantasy, it often can be like brutal and like enemies to lovers and all that intensity. But in historical romance, it's usually like the yearning. It's all about the yearning. It's all about the swooning, and it's incredible. And I know so many people are, you know, would love this genre if they actually gave it a try. So please do. And definitely read this book. The next one I have here is Her Night with the Duke by Diana Quincy, another incredible author, a little bit newer, but she has at least 5 books, I would say, at this point. And this one is the first one that I ever read from her, and I think I'm going to mention another one after this, actually. But she is such a great author, and so this one is Forbidden Romance. The heroine's, like, stepdaughter is supposed to get married to this duke, and she is, like, a young stepmother. But she kind of falls for him instead. And, you know, very juicy, very angsty, but also just swoon-worthy and steamy and fun. And I loved this so much. It was my first book by Diana Quincy, and her debut as well. And it was just incredible, and I loved it. And she's also a Palestinian-American author, and she writes Palestinian-American main characters. And so you should absolutely check this book out. And just like the other one that I have somewhere, the Duke Gets Desperate. So this one is a newer one. It is amazing. It has a plot that I've actually seen in a few historical romances that are just like, even contemporary a little bit actually, that is just something about it is so good. The main character buys or inherits a like rundown castle, and she comes over there, you know, to like fix it up and all of that. And a duke who is there tells her that like the castle is his and she has like no place being there. And so, you know, they have to coexist there until they figure out a solution, and, you know, things go on from there. And it is absolutely amazing. Loved the forced proximity, of course, and again, all the things that I keep saying, steamy and fun and entertaining and all that good stuff. And so you should absolutely check this out. The next book that I have here is The Duke's Sister and I by Emma Claire Sunday. This was like a standout for me of the books that I read last year, and the main word I want to use to describe this is romantic. That is the main feeling that I had. You know, like some of the other things are in there, but like it is just incredibly romantic and sweet. And we have one of the main characters. This is sapphic romance, so if you've been looking for sapphic romances, you need to pick this up. And I have a few others as well. And so in this one of the main characters is supposed to get married to, of course, a duke once again. And she falls in love with his sister instead. And I absolutely loved it. And, you know, it's honestly not like incredibly angsty. So if you're scared of reading like a queer romance in a historical era, this is not like painful and heartbreaking. It's very sweet and very romantic, like I said, and it's just beautiful. It just made me feel such wonderful fuzzy feelings. And it is, I think, like a little bit steamy, not much though. Like the main part again is like the sweet romance. But it's so good. I loved it so much, and so you should absolutely check this one out, of course. Then I have The Mistress Experience by Scarlett Peckham, which is an author that I absolutely love. She also has quite a few other books, but this one definitely stands out for me. This series basically focuses on like empowering women, and they're very like sex positive, and they feel kind of modern, but in the best way. The heroine in this book is a prostitute, and she takes part in an auction that I don't remember for what purpose, but the winner is a man who basically asks her to teach him how to please his future wife. And so that is the plot, you know, a little bit scandalous, but also just like absolutely iconic, honestly. And so very steamy, of course, but also really emotional and meaningful. And of course there's like this, you know, idea that like it's temporary, and he's obviously like, he's supposed to marry someone else, but they fall in love instead. And I absolutely loved it. It felt very like unique, but just so fun and absolutely wonderful. And so you should absolutely check this one out as well, just like the other books in the series. The next book is A Duchess a Day by Karis Michaels, which I specifically want to mention related to Bridgerton, because this season is supposed to be like a Cinderella retelling, and this series is basically fairy tale retellings, and this one specifically is a Snow White retelling. But you know, it has like those fairy tale vibes. It is a bodyguard romance. And, you know, it's adventurous and steamy and fun and all those things. And so I absolutely loved it. And I have not read the other books in this series, but there's other two. And then the author, once again, has so many other books. The next book I want to mention is The Infamous Miss Rodriguez by Lydia San Andres. This one has, once again, a very headstrong, iconic, independent, sassy heroine, and the hero is a man who's hired to make sure she doesn't like damage her family's name. And this one is a romance, this one is a novella, and so it's perfect if you want a little taste of historical romance, and it's just super fun and such a quick read. And obviously the romance is not as detailed as it would be in a novel, but it is super fun and you should definitely check it out. The next book that I have here is Rebel by Beverly Jenkins, and I could mention so many of Beverly Jenkins' books, of course, but I do want to mention this one because I think it was the first one that I ever read, and I think it might be my favorite, even though it's hard to choose. And in this one, we have Valinda and Drake. Valinda has built a school in New Orleans to help her community, to teach people to read and write and all of those things. Someone destroys the school and is also after her, and so she has to run away. And she runs into Drake, who is an architect, and he wants to rebuild the city. Valinda is very focused on, you know, helping her community and just like focusing on like practicality a lot and not necessarily matters of the heart. But Drake is like a total cinnamon roll and, you know, very sweet, very loving, and he has a wonderful family and all of those things. And so he absolutely is ready to fall in love with her. Absolutely beautiful. Once again, swoon-worthy, meaningful. It obviously deals with important things, and at the same time, it's an incredible romance. Just obviously, she's incredible. And so if you have not read her books somehow, you need to read them. All of them have Black main characters. All of them are just incredible. And yeah, so absolutely read this one along with millions of others. And this series specifically has, I think, 2 other books. And again, there's like a million others as well. So you have plenty to read. The next book I have here is actually another novella, which is A Rake, His Patron, and Their Muse by Nicola Davidson. And Nicola Davidson is absolutely a historical author that I recommend if you want shorter books with queer main characters that are very spicy. That is like the quickest way to describe them. And this one is polyamorous. She actually has multiple polyamorous books. So again, if you also want polyamorous romances in a historical setting, this is perfect, and multiple other books of hers, of course. And yeah, the dynamic between all the main characters was just absolutely perfect, and it was spicy and fun and amazing. And so you should absolutely read this, again, if you want a quick, spicy, and amazing read. So the next author that I have to mention is Lorraine Heath, and the book that I have here is The Duchess Hunt. Even though, again, I could talk about millions of others, and honestly, I'm really due for a reread. But for her books, I would say swoon-worthy is absolutely the biggest adjective I can use. Literally, she's the like a big author that I didn't know for a while, and then later on I read her books and I was just like absolutely blown away. You know, like she has so many books. I literally could tell you maybe 40, 50 even. And so if you like her books, once again, you have so much to read, and I would be shocked if you didn't. In this one, the heroine has to help the hero find a wife and find a suitable wife, and let's just say she's most certainly gonna do that, but it is gonna be herself. And it is just incredible. Like literally, I feel like I just keep repeating myself, but it is because these books all make me feel the same incredible emotions. This series is really special and just so incredibly beautiful and wonderful, and it's just like it keeps you turning the pages and you cannot wait to see them fall in love. But every single moment, even at the beginning, it just feels so magical and wonderful. And so absolutely, definitely read this book. The next one I have here is What a Difference a Duke Makes by Lenora Bell, another author that is absolutely iconic. And this is another governess romance where she takes care of his kids and they fall in love. And I feel like in contemporary, I wouldn't enjoy this that much, but something about the historical setting is just absolutely amazing. And like the forced proximity, the like kind of forbidden aspect, but also just like getting to know each other and, you know, it like starts off innocently and then you find out that, you know, like you have feelings for each other, and it is just amazing. And Lenora Bell's books are so comforting and so wonderful, and so definitely check this one out as well. The next one is A Rogue to Remember by Emily Sullivan, which is a book that I absolutely loved, and it's actually the only one that I've read by her, even though she's come up quite a few books since, and like that is unbelievable because I loved it so much and I really need to catch up, and I've been trying but I just keep getting distracted. And this one, I was just caught, like this one, I was incredibly angsty and wonderful and juicy. There's actually a great line I'm just gonna read to you, which is, a seasoned spy sets out to rescue this childhood friend he once loved from a reputation-destroying rumor, only to discover that she is actually the source. It's estranged childhood best friends, the lovers, second chance, and, you know, like getting to know each other again, and like all of that. Very emotional, very angsty, but also romantic and spicy still. But yeah, these are the feelings that it made me feel. So I feel like I, again, can't unfortunately say if the other books have that same energy, but I would highly recommend them nonetheless. The next one I have is Talk Sweetly to Me by Courtney Milan, and Courtney Milan is another amazing author. And this one is actually also a novella, and so I absolutely loved it. I honestly really want to reread this as well. But it is about like a mathematician heroine who loves to look at the stars, and the hero moves next door to her, and he's a columnist and he takes interest in her work and he wants to learn more about it and more about her, and it is just absolutely wonderful. Even though it's quite a short book, it felt like a solid romance, and I loved every second of it, and I loved to see them fall in love, and it felt so like genuine and deep and a beautiful kind of love, and so you absolutely need to read this as well, of course. Then I have The Lady's Guide to Celestial Mechanics by Olivia Waite, an absolutely iconic sapphic historical romance. So if you want a sapphic romance, I described it as it will make you sad but also fill your heart with hope and love. And so this one, I would say, is very, very emotional. But it is also beautiful and romantic and sweet and meaningful. And of course, all these books have a happy ending, just to be clear, because that's what a romance is supposed to do. One of the heroines is an astronomer that, you know, needs to have this like important text translated, and the other main character is going to be the translator of it, and she's also widowed. She doesn't expect much of this project. Obviously, it's just a job she wants to get done with, and then they have an unexpected connection, and it is just absolutely beautiful, and you should absolutely pick it up. And I don't know what more to say, but you need to read this. And last, and oh my gosh, okay, I thought there was one more book, but I actually already mentioned that one, so that will be all. And, you know, I feel like that's a lot already, so let me know if you would like me to do more historical romance recommendations, because there is plenty more, and I also have been reading it a lot more again, which has been amazing. And I just love it so much. It's really special, and I'm really telling you, like, if you have not tried it yet, you absolutely need to. If you like watching any of the historical things, whether it's Bridgerton or anything else, you are gonna enjoy reading it, trust me, you know? And honestly, like, I think maybe people think it's gonna be like harder to read since it's like the older language and whatever, but like any of the authors that I mentioned, any of these books, like they are fully, like, they are historical and all of that, but at the same time, the writing is not hard to read. They're absolutely not boring, and they are just incredible and magical and beautiful and all the things that I already said a billion times. And so with that, I'm gonna finally stop talking, but please check out these books. You will not regret it. And if you made it this far in the video, leave a teacup emoji down below. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, and I'm gonna see you soon in another video. Bye!